What is up, Liron here. Thank you for joining me in another video. In this one, I'm going to give you 3 tips for painting more loosely. I know that's a thing a bunch of people struggle with and they're frustrated, they can't let go, just enjoy the process and create the result they want. We're going to address this issue today, and it's also going to be one of the main issues I'm going to talk about in my upcoming watercolor course. Okay, so that's a good preparation for that. So tip number 1 is use a small piece of paper and a big brush. Now I get a lot of flack for this one at times because it appears to make the painting process a little more challenging. You know, a big brush, less control, smaller piece of paper, less control. But the thing is, when getting started, you want to work on simplicity. And a big part of simplicity is how to simplify a scene to its basic shapes. So you don't need too big of a paper to and get lost in the details. You want to look at the overall composition. You want to look at the simpler, larger shapes of light and shadow, and if there aren't any, then maybe you want to consider using a different scene. Okay, so use as big a brush as you can on a smaller piece of paper, easier to control the washes. Now I know this is not a final way of doing things. Ideally in the future, that's not necessarily how you're going to paint every painting, but it's an experiment to try, and everything I recommend here again is just from my experience, a recommendation to you. Feel free to take it or leave it. Again, find what works for you. So that's the first recommendation. Recommendation number 2 is do the thing I recommend of holding the brush at the very tip and giving up some control. I have a video on that on YouTube and I will link it down below, but you want to make sure you hold the brush at the very tip and work on those gentle muscles that control how the tip moves. Now, trust me, this is very useful. Some people have commented that it's a bad practice because it hurts your control. I definitely struggled with it. I actually learned this from Alvaro Castanet. I saw him doing it and I decided to adopt it because if he's doing it, there's probably some merit to it. It was very hard in the beginning. And there are a lot of exercises to help you get more accustomed to this way of holding the brush or even the pencil. No, with the pencil it won't work as well, but the brush, and I really recommend you give it a shot. Again, my recommendation. What happens is, when you want to get the finer details, it's okay to hold it up close to the tip, and I definitely do that. But when you develop this way of holding the brush, you get a bigger range of movement, and you help your hand get used to the very gentle shapes. Not everyone's gonna have an easy time with it, again, to begin with, but it's like, you know, you work really hard and practice really hard so that when it's the real time to go, you have a bit of an easier time. Okay, so I highly recommend you give this second tip a try. Now, third tip. This is something I've been talking about a lot in the last 2 years, I think, and that is use pure paints. Don't mix at all. I know it sounds strange. You don't have to mix your paints. What this will do is it will make the painting process faster. Okay, and by working faster, you get more time to focus on what matters. The composition, the quality of edges, the big shapes that create interest, the creation of depth, values. You don't have to think as much about how to mix the perfect color that will match what you see. And what happens is, when you use pure colors, it may seem a bit odd at first, but the more you glaze layers on top of one another, they will neutralize and eventually settle into something that looks good. So the way I do it is, if I see a wall that's yellow, I use just yellow, pure yellow, especially in the first wash. If I look at the sky, I use just pure blue. If I look at areas that kind of have interest in them or mid values, I'll use a bit of red. And later on, when you glaze on top of it, you will be able to mute it, and not every color is going to scream at you. It will look wonderful. The highlights are going to be beautiful. Everything is going to be really nice looking, okay? So you want to at least give it a try. You may not like it, but I think that you should give it at least a try. I try to give everything a try and see what works for me. Another thing I would say is it works well with the limited palette. So using only 3 paints, you could use more. But I find it easy to use a red, blue, and yellow, and then not mix them almost at all, or at all, if you prefer that the more extreme and I think useful version of this exercise. It will just make your life easier and allow you to focus on what matters, okay, and not just, you know, matching the perfect color. And you know, colors to me don't mean much. You know, that last video about not using a pure black out of the tube, I use it for some monochromatic exercises. I use it sometimes as a convenience mixture to mix together with my blues and yellows and reds. I'm not completely against using black, and because above all, values matter more than color in my opinion. And again, that's just my stylistic choice. Plenty of artists use black, such as neutral tint, just to make it easier on them to mix. But it's my recommendation. Take it or leave it and find out what works best for you. So let's go over them real fast. All the 3 tips. Number 1, small paper, big brush. Number 2, hold the brush at the very tip. It's gonna be weird, it's gonna be awkward, but trust me, on the long term, in the long run, it's gonna prove itself worth it, and it's gonna pay bigger dividends in the future. And third, use pure paints, probably with a minimal palette. Give all these 3 a try. It will make your painting process simpler, easier, harder at the beginning, but then believe me, it's gonna make it much easier, less to think about, and hopefully that'll work out. Well, I will do more videos in the future on how to simplify a scene, how to create that sense of depth, because there's a lot that goes into it. Composition, not just the technique of how you hold the brush, definitely. But I want you to give these 3 a try, take it as a challenge, and leave a comment down below and let me know what you found most useful out of these, if at all. It will help me make better videos in the future. And also, if you have any other topic you want me to cover, any struggle, any pain point, anything that bugs you, I'm here for you, okay? I really want to make the content that will help you, okay? Because otherwise what I'm doing is not worth it, really. I want to help you, okay? So let me know what your thoughts. Don't forget to give this video a like, a thumbs up. It really helps promoting it here on YouTube. And also subscribe and hit the bell button to receive notifications of new videos. That sometimes people just don't get them, and it's a shame, and then you miss a couple of videos. I had plenty of people send me messages saying I didn't get notifications, I don't see your videos. So if you want to make sure you don't miss the full tutorials and all of that, make sure to hit the bell button. I want to thank you once again for watching, and again, I'm here for you. Let me know if you have any questions or anything I can help you with. I will see you again in the next vid real soon.